Jiren the Grey is without question the most dangerous competitor that Universe 7 has gone up against, and without any shadow of a doubt, Jiren has proven as to why he is the force of nature that everyone makes him out to be. But will he be able to win the tournament by himself? Is it possible for Ultra Instinct Goku to be equal to Jiren as they continue to reach the end of the line, or will somehow Jiren overwhelm Goku and defeat him to close off the tournament? On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Tournament of Power climax in order to determine if Goku truly has what it takes in order to make it until the end and survive against such a powerful adversary, or if there is simply no chance that Goku has anything left in his arsenal in order to stop Jiren from winning the tournament by himself. So buckle up and hold on to your Dragon Balls, guys, because we're going to be exploring the likely finale of the Tournament of Power next. If you guys like the Dragon Ball content that I provide on this channel, then make sure you guys punch that subscribe button with notifications enabled to be the first to receive all the latest in Dragon Ball content and be a part of the Dragon Ball squad. And also don't forget to follow me on these social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, to stay connected with me at all times. Hashtag Dragon Ball Squad. Thank you so very much for your support. Now let's begin. Jiren vs. Goku has been one of the most hyped up battles ever since the introduction of the Universe Survival Arc, and now we have finally reached the climax and conclusion of the Tournament of Power. And with that being said, we were introduced to a brand new power called Ultra Instinct, and with that, Goku is the only person to our knowledge right now that knows of what it is. And as he continues to fight, he is seemingly going up against another competitor who also seems to know what Migate no Gokui actually is. And joining me here today to talk about this subject is my good friend EmoshIsLive. As Emosh, I want to welcome you back onto the channel as we talk about Goku versus Jiren. Now, I think in my opinion, this is going to be the be-all end-all fight. It only makes sense. It makes sense not because Goku is the main character, but because he was given a power that nobody else currently has in the tournament. And I personally feel it makes sense because Goku was the one that called for this tournament. It was Goku's actions and his own responsibility that forced all the other universes in competing, minus the fact that the Omni King wanted to destroy the other universes to begin with. This is going to be Goku's defining moment in trying to become the strongest in the multiverse. Can he do it? I really doubt it, because he's going up against Jiren. And Jiren, just based on display alone, has not only dominated two Super Saiyan Blues with complete ease, but is easily being hailed as the strongest competitor in the Tournament of Power. But with Ultra Instinct having to be included, what I wanted to ask you is, where does Goku stack up? Where does Goku stack up now that he's obtained Ultra Instinct? And I'm not trying to say that Goku stands any better of a chance than anybody else. I mean, unless of course Vegeta unlocks Ultra Instinct, other people start gaining power-ups, it's kind of hard to even comprehend the level of power that Jiren is still hiding, because Jiren has not displayed any sort of, raw, untamed power in the show as of yet. So far, he's been holding back, and that's already been proven. So as we near the end, as we dwindle down towards the final 7 minutes, the final 6 minutes, the final 3 minutes, the final 60 seconds of this tournament, what I wanted to ask you is, what do you believe is the likelihood of Goku beating Jiren? Because based on plot and based on the overall direction, it only makes sense for Goku to win, given the fact that he might resurrect the other universes and making this a very predictable ending. However, there's also the alternative of Jiren winning, and if Jiren wins, that's really going to be a game changer. And what I wanted to ask you is, what do you believe is the likelihood of Jiren winning? Where do you think Ultra Instinct Goku is going to stack up to Jiren now? Because Goku so far has only been adjusted to Ultra Instinct when fighting Kefla, which is a good thing, because Kefla is by no means an inferior character compared to some of the other fighters. She's very strong, even though she's no match for Ultra Instinct. It was a good enough reason for him to go back into it. So my question to you is, where do you stand on this whole battle? Do you see it being the final battle of this tournament? And if it is, who do you think is going to win? And where do you stand in terms of seeing how far Goku can grow with Ultra Instinct having to be his last reserve? And by the end, in your opinion, who do you think is going to win between Goku and Jiren at the end of the tournament?
Alright, so first of all, as far as who might win, for storyboard, I think it's cool if Jiren wins. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, only because, well, it's something fresh. It's something refreshing. It's something new. Someone who like Jiren, who isn't even a villain. He's just an adversary. He's not the antagonist, but he's been portrayed this way for some whatever reason, right? Because he is that wall that needs to be surpassed. So he's that wall that Goku needs to climb. So with that, I feel like Jiren winning the tournament ultimately. It comes down to the final minute, because considering every time Goku has utilized Ultra Instinct, it's lasted for less than the episode, which every episode is a minute anyway, which means that it's only a few seconds, right? So like, let's say 30 seconds, okay? So I think it's going to come down to the final minute, and that episode, whatever the case may be, comes down to Goku. One, he's already a glass cannon. We know that every time Goku taps into UI, it's basically where if he gets hit hard enough, that's it for him. That's basically what's been depicted, but now we have hints that Goku has supposedly recovered his stamina. I think for storyboard, it's good if Jiren wins, okay? And then because we get to learn more about him once he makes his wish. In the manga, it's kind of depicted that he has an actual goal, and at this goal, he's willing to toss all his ideals aside for achieving this goal, whatever the case may be.
And even during the episode, he said, "I'm seeking out something far beyond even strength." What is that?
Yes. Honestly, I think it's peace, and it might sound very vague and very like bleh, but legitimately, Jiren's outlook on peace or outlook on strength supersedes even Toppo's outlook on it. For example, the manga is a very clear indication of this, where Toppo says, "What are you talking about? Our universe is going to be erased." And Jiren says, "Yeah, but I don't want to be responsible for a universe being erased. If they're erased by my hand, I'll accept that universe 11 will be erased. You guys, you go handle it without me." And in the manga, Toppo is a very formidable opponent. So if you think about it, he kicked Goku in the nuts, but still he won. He took the L.
Right, no, he did.
So that's okay. So based on that, if you wanted to like just sprinkle that onto the anime, I think if Jiren were to win the tournament, we could learn more about Jiren as a result of whatever it is he wishes for. But if you just wanted for me to tell you, well, the same old, Goku wins the tournament, despite Goku not really winning many tournaments, okay? But I think for the sake of the story, for the sake of the plot, or for the sake of Goku's story at least, him achieving this power, him getting a better grasp of Ultra Instinct, and then solidifying the W is kind of like the image that Goku has portrayed to, for example, the US audience. Okay, like out here in the States, like the English dub kind of portrays Goku to be like this hero, to be the guy who never fails you, right?
Yeah.
But the actual original show depicts Goku as wanting to be stronger, and that doesn't necessarily tie him into Vegeta, for example, who wants to be the strongest. Goku he just wants to be stronger. And even when he surpasses his previous limitation, he wants to be stronger than that, right? And he wants to fight guys who are stronger than him, which tells you that Goku does not want to be the strongest like Vegeta. But for Vegeta to become the strongest, there needs to be someone who is stronger than him, which is Goku, okay, based on what the show portrays. And for Goku to want to be stronger, he needs to fight someone who is stronger than him. And then after he overcomes that, he has to fight someone else who is stronger than that. So it's like one endless cycle for these guys. And this is why Jiren, Vegeta, and Goku, I've done a video talk about this on my channel as well, this is why they mesh so well together, ironically enough. Now, need I remind you, the comment that you made about Goku learning all this in literally a short amount of time, need I remind you what Dragon Ball Super did with Trunks?
No, absolutely.
He learned the Mafuba through an iPhone. Okay, this guy got Super Saiyan Rage. He got the Genki Dama. Listen, that entire arc, I would say halfway towards the end of the arc, stroked Trunks so much. Okay, and it really wouldn't be a surprise if they did the same thing for Goku. Only because, well, it's Goku's show. It is his platform. He's arguably the most marketable face. He is the face of Dragon Ball in itself. So that's why I'm saying, as far as same old is concerned, I could actually see Goku winning, but because Jiren is so, like, he's kind of like conserving himself so much, logically speaking, even if Goku gets Ultra Instinct for 30 seconds, will it be enough to take out a full-powered Jiren?
To that, I would say you're right, because we don't know what a full-powered Jiren can do. And easily so far, he's trumped 2 Super Saiyan Blues, and he's continuously fighting and showing no signs of even breaking a sweat, and that is so terrifying. And what I wanted to ask you is, as Goku grows, do you think that there's any sort of chance for him to adapt even more? Because Goku's only problem while under Ultra Instinct is the fact that he's starting to really think. He's really starting to think about his attacks. He's not more or less paying attention as much, and that's one of his downsides, is the fact that his defensive portion is amazing, but when it comes down to his offense, he just keeps on thinking on his feet, and that's a problem, because that could really serve as a detriment to his character. So, minus Ultra Instinct though, do you think anybody else, even with the combined feats of Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Gohan, 17, do you think anybody else stands a remote chance in penetrating this guy and getting through his defenses and just harming him? Or do you think that this is simply going to be a bloodbath and Jiren just stomps out?
Well, Jiren can't even touch Goku. That's the problem. So you have a state of being that allows you to like avoid any danger whatsoever. Jiren, if I remember correctly, okay, it's pretty late, so forgive me if I spew some garbage right now.
Right.
But Jiren never touched Goku when he was Ultra Instinct. And the 1 hour special.
I don't think he did. Well, minus the exchange of punches. Yeah, I don't think he did.
No, at the end, yeah, but he never physically got hit to the face where it put Goku down. Like, he never got hit to that degree. Goku outmaneuvered every single punch that Jiren threw at him. Goku's the one who hit Jiren 3 times, if I remember correctly. He hit him in the beginning. He caught him out the side of the face. He kicked him in the stomach, and then he shot him with the ki blast, right? So it was at the end, once the form ran out, that Goku pretty much just got a wadi dash. I don't know why he wasn't rigged out, but yeah, plot incentive. Anyway, but that's the thing. So if Goku could get a better grasp at this and hit harder than he did before, it's gonna damage Jiren. But will he solidify the W? This, I can't even tell you. This is why I'm saying it feels like it could really come down to either fighter. Okay, and having to see someone who could push Jiren to that far, I think I'm just expecting orgasms after. I'm gonna watch that episode with my pants off. I'm telling you right now. That's all. That's just all I have to say about that. I will watch the episode.
Very interesting. You said peace. I mean, obviously, I would assume that there is some type of peace in Universe 11 because the Pride Troopers are always doing their best to defend their world. And as pointed out in the manga, never referenced in the anime, but only in the manga, is the fact that Jiren said, if Universe 11 is in dire need, you know, you have to bring me back because I have to defend my world. You know, what's interesting is if they do decide to go along those lines and having Jiren win, Universe 7's erased, and he makes the wish for peace, it's like, you can only make the assumption that the show is over from there, because Goku and them would be erased, right? But that kind of seems a bit iffy to me. Is it possible that you see it to where maybe he resurrects the universes, and maybe then also, you know, entices the narrative of peace? Or maybe he wants to relinquish his own power, per se, because with that, I mean, it just seems a tad bit odd that he would only wish for peace and keep everyone else, like, you know, the way they are with being erased. So with his wish, with his incentive on trying to win because he has like this, you know, defining wish that goes against his morals, that's a contradiction because he stands for peace. So what else contradicts peace? You get what I'm saying? So what's your take on that?
Well, it contradicts his morals only because it was stated first in the manga that Jiren he's the kind of guy who wouldn't even kill an evil person. Like, that's how great of a character he is, and that's how just he is. And listen, it's made evidently clear, okay, when Toppo even asked Jiren why he won't enter the tournament. Like, his own universe, like you said, it's not really contradictory, but only because his own universe was mentioned to be at stake, and he wanted no part of it because he didn't want to be responsible for the erasure of other universes just to solidify the safety of his own. That's the kind of guy that he is, and you got to look at it. I don't speak for Dragon Ball, but in animes in general, whenever a character like this is portrayed, they always kind of like really mind jack you to the point where it's like, wow, I never really looked at it that way. Jiren's perception of strength is far above Toppo's by default, considering Toppo has candidacy for Hakaishin in the manga, and that in itself it says leaps and bounds, okay, of what Jiren is capable of, how he views things. You got to understand, for Jiren to be at the point where he's stronger than his own god of destruction, and in the anime, no god of destruction can even defeat him in a battle, you have to understand, you can't even imagine some of the things that he's had to go through to achieve that power. He's probably had to let go of so many things and probably have to go through an exponential amount more just to achieve this state of power. I would agree with you when you say that he would be very happy seeking something that lies beyond strength, meaning he has no concern with it, but he has no choice but to have this level of strength in order to solidify his current position, whatever that may be, which I'm assuming we're going to find out more of in the manga, hopefully, right? So with that, you got to understand, I would say Jiren would give up his strength if he could, you know, not have to worry about certain things anymore. Like I said, I can't really pinpoint what his actual wish might be, which is why I said peace. And I know the term peace sounds very bland, and on the scheme of things, it kind of sounds contradictory. But Universe 11, they can't be at peace if you have Pride Troopers literally on every planet solidifying that peace. That means that there isn't a high level of peace, okay? Right. Just because of the mortals, because of the universes that are entering the tournament of power, they rank the highest. They still don't even touch a 7. Like in the anime, if you have a 7, you're basically excluded from the tournament because you're doing a good job. So they're close, but they're not there yet. And Jiren might want that. Jiren might want some kind of peace or some kind of something along the lines of that really puts him in a position where it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about being this strong anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be stronger than my own god of destruction. I don't have to put myself through this anymore. I want everybody to live this kind of a life, or to have this kind of a comfort, to where we don't have to worry about people who are, you know, who are evil, or people who are going to hurt you, or people who are going to do this and this, you know, this and that.
Yeah.
And that's why I see him as being such a quiet character. He doesn't have to, like, we don't have to be spoon-fed everything about Jiren, which is why I like him. And I think the statements that we got from the manga kind of dictate itself that Jiren sees things from a much broader perspective, and that's why I would wager that he would literally sacrifice his strength or give up everything, give up his own ideals just to achieve that goal, just to that would negate everything he's done now, but in the end, to him, it's worth it.
I definitely think that this is going to be the final fight. I mean, if anything, they might keep FRIEZA around just to allow everything to feel a bit more dreadful. I think that they might keep a few other heads around, if anything, but if they don't decide to keep anybody in the ring, it's definitely going to boil down to those two. And I really want to see firsthand as to how Jiren is able to adapt to Goku's Ultra Instinct. That was never explained. It was never explained as to how he was able to dodge Goku. He was able to dodge Ultra Instinct Goku. Not only that, but as he was fighting Goku, he was on par with him, to that extent to where we saw how he was able to exchange punches with complete ease. So in the end, who do you see taking the L? Who do you see taking the W? And looking at it from an objective point of view, do you see there being any sort of like decisive win to where one is going to dominate the other, or maybe perhaps it's going to result in a sudden death? Because I really wouldn't mind it too much if it resulted in a double knockout and they both ended up ringing each other out, preserving and just keeping both characters looking strong, I think. So what's your take on that? And looking at it from that point of view, it's like Jiren hasn't displayed much yet, and I firmly believe that in the very end he will give it his all, I think, against Ultra Instinct Goku by the end. But, you know, having to end it off here, where do you see this battle headed? Do you see there being a sudden death? And just what's your overall take on the narrative as we close off the Tournament of Power?
Well, if it's a draw, I would like to see a sudden death by default. I'll just leave it like that. If I had to give it to a W to somebody, like I said before, I could actually see Jiren winning, only because it's cool for the storyboard. It adds more, it gives us more information about Jiren. I think it allows Goku to see things from a different perspective, very similar to how Vegeta has been affected by many things throughout his lifetime, throughout the history of Dragon Ball Z, coming into Dragon Ball Super, and as a result, it's changed his character. For Goku, it's the same old. He fights just to get stronger. There's no real motive, right? And that's who he is as a Saiyan, which is cool, but even that in itself has limitations, which is why Jiren even asked him, listen, why do you seek to become stronger? And Goku says, I don't know, I just want to become stronger. And Jiren's like, okay, you don't know. And Jiren learned something about Goku that day, in that episode. So at this point, it's like, okay, well, there's no way I could allow someone like this to surpass me. I will push him to his limits. I will beat him when he's at his strongest, and then I will prove to everybody why I am who I am, and I will, make my wish become a reality. But like I said, based on like the history, I would say for expectations, Goku kind of is expected to win. If you can't literally touch this man, how are you going to defeat him, right? So it really comes down to that. I would like to see Jiren win, like, not because I'm fanboying him. I just think it's cool for the storyboard. I think it's refreshing. It gives us a different twist. It gives us a different perspective. And overall, though, if it's a draw, I would like to see a sudden death match of some kind, where maybe they fight with the intent to kill at that point. It's rules are meant to be broken. The Universe 67 tournament, Goku did ask for them to lift the whole killing thing for hit. I wouldn't be surprised if Goku said the same thing against Jiren, because he wants to fight to get stronger. He wants to fight Jiren at his strongest. And if he defeats Jiren, even though it's a tournament format, but if he defeats him in a death match, it kind of solidifies Goku's position as well. And it gives Vegeta more incentive to strive to become the strongest, like I mentioned earlier.
I think looking at it and just thinking about a draw, that first of all, that would be crazy, because if there's nobody left in the ring, who the hell wins? It's like nobody really wins. If there's nobody left, what do? Do you add more time? Do you do something else along the lines of just adding in more depth by having a rematch? Like, what the hell do you do, But I think that by the end, Jiren is definitely going to remain. I don't see anything else happening. Again, that's just my opinion. I mean, because the tournament's closing off right now, and it's crazy how far we've come, because the Universe Survival arc started last February, I believe, and the tournament started in July. And here we are going into February and closing things off in March. It's just remarkable to see how far we've come. But in the end, guys, post your comments down below as to how you guys feel about this. Do you guys think that maybe Goku has a good chance of winning. Is he going to win? If he does, do you think it's kind of predictable? Do you think Jiren is going to win? Do you think that Jiren is hiding more or less of his true powers and what he can really do? Post your comments down below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button, guys. Turn on all notifications if you guys are new to be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto this channel. If you guys enjoyed, slap a like down below. Also, guys, don't forget to follow me at Twitter at UnrealEntGaming, and also follow Emosh. I will leave a link to his channel down below. Make sure you guys punch that subscribe button for him as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Cue my outro, bitch.